The new look of Squish Squash Natural Lemon Juice.
It is a very good day to you, and thank you very much for joining us right here on ZTN News Blitz. A quick look at our top stories. Victoria Falls achieves COVID-19 herd immunity. Over 200 drug dealers nabbed in Harare. Gweru shooting victim has bullet lodged in head. And in sport, Zim Chevrons turn attention to Test series. And now for the news in greater detail. Zimbabwe's premier resort city of Victoria Falls has achieved herd immunity after 77% of residents received their second jabs. Mass vaccination of ordinary residents in the city started last month when President Emmerson Mnangagwa received his first jab in the resort city. To date, a total of 336,600 people have been vaccinated against COVID-19 countrywide. Matabeleland North Provincial Medical Director Dr. Munekai Padingani speaks on the implications of the city achieving herd immunity.
So we did sensitize the population by doing like a boat show. We're using a car and moving around, talking to even individuals, talking to people to tell them which vaccine we are using, where they can get it, and who are eligible it, and if they need, which kind of effect we can get.
Public health specialist Itairu Sike on the development in Victoria Falls.
I think what has happened in Vic Falls is very encouraging, and it will be great if we can replicate the same strategy that was used in Vic Falls, especially when the president went on the ground with the other, political leaders. That alone encouraged, the community in Vic Falls to embrace the vaccine. But what is also important is those that got the first jab should now then make sure that they get the second jab.
AIDS levy collections in Zimbabwe have fallen by more than half as a result of COVID-19 lockdown. The AIDS levy is derived from 3% of income tax paid by individuals and corporates. But with some companies having scaled down operations and laying off workers due to lockdown effects on businesses, the National AIDS Council's purse was hit hard. In 2020, AIDS levy collections amounted to $1 billion Zimbabwean dollars, which is equivalent to about 12 million United States dollars. In previous years, collections averaged 30 million United States dollars. And National AIDS Council Chief Executive Officer Dr. Bernard Mazima spoke to ZTN.
As you are aware, AIDS levy is actually 3% of taxable income. So it means every person who works in Zimbabwe, their tax, 3% of it goes to the National AIDS Trust Fund. So as the lockdown started, a lot of people lost their employment, and this definitely had an impact on the AIDS levy. But it was not only the collection of the AIDS levy, it was also as part of our funding as National AIDS Council also comes from partners. We know that this pandemic affected the whole world, and our regular or traditional partners, their countries were also affected, and this affected their funding.
More than 200 suspected drug dealers have been arrested in Zimbabwe since police launched a crackdown on drug peddlers and syndicates. To date, police have raided areas like Mbare, Chitungwiza, Mabuku, Epworth, Dzivarasekwa, Glenora, Mfakosi, Southview and Highfield, and swooped on drug peddlers who range from pushers to suppliers with links to international drug trafficking rings. The latest raid was carried out in the Avenues area of Harare on Sunday, where an undisclosed number of suspected peddlers were arrested. National Police spokesperson Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati could not provide details of yesterday's raids as he was out of office. Now, Itai Tiniri is on standby to give us an account of Sunday's raid at one of the drug dens in Harare.
Thank you very much, Samantha. Police swooped on this suspected drug den at 11 a.m. yesterday in what witnesses have described as a dramatic raid. The house that is situated here at corner 8th and Central Avenue is one of many suspected drug dens in Harare. Police officers arrived at this place in an armored personnel carrier truck popularly known as Puma. According to witnesses, when police swarmed the house, one of the suspects bolted out, clutching a small bag whose contents are not known. About 4 police officers, 2 of them armed with AK-47 rifles, pursued him. The suspect was apprehended at corner 7th Street and Selu Avenue. Several people, among them suspected sex workers, were also taken in during the raid, and we are also made to understand that one of the main suspects, only identified as Keda, was also arrested. Police say they are keeping an eye on several places in the avenues, and we are expecting more raids in the days to come, in more weeks or more days to come. It's back to you, Samantha.
Now, a 15-year-old boy from Harare's Stone Ridge Park appeared before a Harare court this morning facing rape charges. The accused, whose name is being withheld, is accused of raping 2 minors aged 4 and 5 on April 19th this year. Investigators told the court that the accused, who is related to the girls, visited their homes and started playing with them on their bed. He later asked the duo to undress while he also removed his clothes. He proceeded then to perform sexual acts on them. Now, the matter came to light when one of the girls complained of severe pain on her private parts while being bathed by her mother. That is when the girls narrated their ordeal. Harare Magistrate Dennis Mangosi is put the accused into his mother's custody, and he is set to appear in court on the 18th of June. Now, one of last week's shooting victims in Zimbabwe's third largest city, Gweru, has a bullet lodged in her skull and is awaiting operation at Gweru Provincial Hospital. 34-year-old Nyaradzo Naringo was allegedly shot by Peter Dube on Friday last week. Her younger sister Nyasha is reportedly out of the intensive care unit and is recuperating in a female surgical ward. 2 other people, including Dube's wife, died in the shooting. Police are still looking for Dube, who has been on the run since committing the alleged crime. Now, ZTN Midlands correspondent Patrick Shumba gives us more.
Employees working for Peter Dube, who is on the run after allegedly shooting 4 people, killing 2 on the spot. They've started moving vehicles which were on sale at his garage along Alobingola Avenue in Gweru. At the same time, Nyarazo's second wife, Miss Nyasha, is said to be on the verge of having a bullet removed from her head. This is after the doctors at Gweru Provincial Hospital managed to have a CT scan and have managed to locate or see where the bullet is. The other sister, Nyarazo, is said to be recuperating well in the female surgical ward in at the same hospital. In the meantime, police have launched a manhunt for Peter Dube, who is suspected to be headed for South Africa.
Churches in Zimbabwe have been banned from using school premises as places of worship. Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education spokesperson Taungana Ndoro said religious organizations that have been renting school premises must now find alternatives to hold their services. Ndoro spoke to ZTN's Takuchi Ambakwe.
As for churches that are alleged to have been banned, it's not an allegation, it is a government strategy to ensure that we minimize and mitigate the spread of COVID within our schools. Schools, as you are aware, seem to have been hotspots for certain cases of COVID. So to minimize that, it's not new actually that having churches not being at schools, or those who rent school facilities for worship. This was stopped as of last year. There's nothing new here, and the reason being that we need to ensure that we've got a safe learning environment, and our teachers and our learners need to be safe within the school premises. Thank you.
Staying with churches, now could the African Apostolic Church, once led by Apostle Paul Mwaja, be on the verge of another split? If developments on the ground are anything to go by, then a third split is imminent. Already there are two factions led by Apostle Mwaja's second-born son Kushamisa and another one by his last-born Tawanda. ZTN now understands that Apostle Mwaja's eldest son Ngonizashe has returned to the church with yet another faction. The church is now split between Alfred Kushamisa and Tawanda Israel, both of whom have assumed the bishop title. Now we cross over to Manika Post senior reporter Ray Bande, who has more on the story.
The African Apostolic Church is now officially divided into two formations. One led by Apostle Paul Mwaja's second-born son named Alfred Kushamisa Mwaja. The other one led by the last-born son Tawanda Israel Mwaja. These divisions have actually deepened with the return of Ngonizashe Mwaja to the church. Ngonizashe Mwaja happens to be the eldest son of Apostle Paul Mwaja. All along, Ngonizashe Mwaja was attending Joani Marangi Apostolic Church, but he is now back in the African Apostolic Church. The control of the church has been a subject of intense debate, given the aging leader who now is expected to turn 103 this year. Even though Ngonizashe Mwaja denied leading a splinter group during Saturday's sermon, only time will tell whether genuinely we will not witness the third splinter group of the church. Chiseko Mwaja, whom we interviewed, a brother of the Mwajas, actually denied the existence of another formation, insisting that Tawanda Israel, the last-born son, is the genuine heir to Apostle Paul Mwaja. Back to you, Samama, in the studio.
On to some business news. Zimbabwe's monthly inflation rate fell to 1.58% in April, its lowest since September 2018. Now, this is according to data released by the National Statistics Agency, ZimStat. International Monetary Fund experts say inflation in Zimbabwe is set to end the year at 49.4%. Market analyst Kudzanai Sharara unpacks the latest inflation figures.
Inflation figures are very encouraging given the fact that we have been experiencing very high levels of inflation since 2019, and we reached a peak of 837% in July 2020, and since then it has been a downward spiral on the inflation front, and we have reached the lowest at 194%. This is the lowest since July 2019, and that is encouraging. What it means for the consumer is that their incomes and earnings are no longer being eroded at a faster rate than they were in the past. Now you can be able to actually do some kind of planning and budgeting. Yes, the levels are still high, but it's encouraging that the trend is now on a slow down, and hopefully if it stays like that throughout the year, then we might result in inflation levels that are lower than 100% by the end of the year.
35 illegal tobacco buyers have been exposed by the Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board after prejudicing both farmers and authorities of millions of dollars. Since tobacco auction floors opened on the 7th of April, the people were duped unsuspecting farmers and buying the golden leaf at below market rates. TIMB spokesperson Kalesani Moyo spoke to ZTN correspondent Norton Sasa.
For the 2021 tobacco marketing season, the Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board has embarked on an exercise to name and shame illegal buyers and sellers of tobacco. The aim of this exercise is to discourage repeat offending and also to deter would-be illegal buyers and sellers. So far, 35 illegal buyers and sellers of tobacco have been convicted and fined. For those who are registered growers, they will have their registration cancelled in line with Section 32 of the Tobacco Industry and Marketing Act, Chapter 18.20. We are encouraging all tobacco growers to sell their tobacco through licensed floors and registered contractors.
Botswana's Debswana Diamond Company will spend over $6 billion on the building the world's largest underground diamond mine at Botswana's Sishwaneng, which is already the richest mine by value of the precious stones. The underground mine will have more than 360 kilometers of tunnel development and will hit full production by 2034. It will have capacity of as much as 9 million carats per year, extending the mine's lifespan by 20 years. The South African documentary My Octopus Teacher has won the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature at the 93rd Academy Awards ceremony in Los Angeles. Now, the 2020 Netflix original by Pippa Ehrlich and James Reed documents a year spent by filmmaker Craig Foster forging a relationship with a wild octopus in a South African kelp forest in False Bay near Cape Town. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic is raging and there's still uncertainty over when people might vacation again. But one thing remains constant in the world of travel: the €1 houses of Italy. Now, this month it's the turn of another Sicilian town, Castiglione di Sicilia, to offer houses for the price of a coffee. Want to snap one up? Well, potential buyers should get in touch with a detailed plan of what kind of houses they'd like and how they'd like to renovate it in order to best match demand with supply. So what's the catch? Buyers must complete the renovations within 3 years. Now, up next is our sports news.
Oh my God, these guys from Zol are so good, Sha. If you have an issue, it's easy to get help, and there's so many ways you can do it. You can go to their website, zol.co.zw, and right there, pa corner, so on the corner, bottom right side, there's a chat service. You just need to fill in your details and you'll be connected to an agent ASAP. For verification, make sure you have your Zol ID ready. If they can't resolve your issue on the chat, they will open a report with the reference number and let you know when to expect an update. Your reference number will help them help you. And just like that, your issue is resolved. No complaints here, darling. And guess what? You can also do it on my Zol app. So go ahead, download it. It's easy with Zol.
Moving on to the world of sport, Zimbabwe captain Sean Williams believes the Chevrons have taken huge steps forward despite a 2-1 T20 series loss to Pakistan. Going into the third match on Sunday, the series was level at 1-1 and Pakistan had to dig deep against what is a young Zimbabwean side. Attention now turns to the test series set to start on Thursday at Harare Sports Club. Now, the positives are that Captain Williams and the experienced Brendan Taylor are expected to be fully fit for the challenge. Taylor missed the first T20I while Williams missed the second one. In the Zimbabwe Pro 50 Championship, Tuskers have put themselves in a good position to win the title after victory over Rhinos on Saturday. Tuskers, who won by 2 wickets to top the group with 30 points, will now be waiting for either Rocks or Rhinos to join them in the final. Today, Rhinos were taking on Mountaineers while Rock faced Eagles. In football, Barcelona have received a lifeline in the race of the La Liga title after Atletico Madrid's 2-1 loss to Atletico Bilbao. Barcelona now simply need to win all their last matches to win La Liga. Atletico are still top with 73 points. Real Madrid are second with 71 points, while Barca are third with 71 points with a game in hand. It has been a bittersweet period for the Zimbabwe tennis brothers Courtney and Benjamin Locke. While Benjamin won his first title of the year recently, Courtney has been battling to get back to full fitness. Courtney speaks to ZTN about his relationship with Benjamin.
You know, Benj is my best friend. You know, I'm his best friend. We chat to each other every single day. So I think it's been difficult on him. You know, us not traveling together, him being by himself, him playing with different partners. So I think that's been tough on him. with me, obviously, it's been tough not being able to do what I love and what I'm called to do.
Don't forget to connect with us on our social media platforms. Our Twitter is at ZTN News, our Facebook, Zim Papers TV Network, our Instagram at ZTN. Remember to also like and subscribe our YouTube channel ZTN, and you can also visit our website ztn.co.zw for more updates. Good day.